This week on the Minding Your Business podcast, motivation is overrated. How determination really drives success. Welcome to the Minding Your Business podcast. I'm CJ Jolliffe with everybody's favorite co-host,
Aaron Gerald. So you kind of rolled that T at the end there. That was really good.
I don't even know what I'm doing at this point. For anyone that doesn't know, well, they wouldn't know. You got to experience me doing that twice because I forgot
what you were supposed
how
to
we
say
intro this thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I wasn't doing a third intro. I was like, just roll the T.
It's fine. Exactly. Yeah, it's one of those weeks.
All right. So I got to say, I had a little bit of an exciting week.
Okay.
And that was my subscribers on my YouTube channel more than doubled in 1 week.
Now, nice. So you have two now.
That's awesome. I was like, before everybody gets too excited. Yeah, it went from 12 to 31. So
nice.
Yeah, not bad. And it's interesting because I thought I was doing everything right. And I'd done some research.
Before this, you're talking about Being Bernard, right? This isn't like the old YouTube channel that the Aaron Gerald's one. Because you still got well over 1,000 of those, right?
Yeah.
Like 1,500 subscribers.
I think that one, last time I checked, was like 1,590 or something.
Okay,
it's getting close to 1,600. But and in fact, I haven't done anything with that one in a hot minute, like several months. I haven't touched it in several months. And to go back to that idea that this is forever content that you're putting on YouTube, it absolutely is. I'm getting new subscribers. I got 5 in the last month with doing nothing. Which, okay, it's not a ton, but at the same time, I've not done and put any new content, and I'm only getting about 80 views a week or in 48 hours anyway. And it's interesting because I used to think, well, why would I waste time with shorts? Those are so short-lived, but they're short-lived on some of the platforms like TikTok or Instagram, Facebook Reels. They'll promote it for the first 72 hours, then it falls off.
Right.
And it dies way down. It does keep going, which I can also attest to because my TikTok channel has grown up to 1,100, which was exciting because I only had like 600 last time I checked, and I haven't done anything on that in months and months and months, and it's doubled. So it may be time to start going back now that the algorithm's figuring out who to send my content to go ahead and make some additional content for that. Because I got so discouraged before and I just burned out. And so it is hard to stay consistent when you're feeling burnt out, which leads me to my current channel, Being Bernard. I'm excited to do it. I did double my subscribers, so I'm really excited about that. And that's kind of helped boost a little bit of fire and keep me going. And the trouble I'm having is making the videos. So right now, the trouble I'm having is I'm just get so frustrated. I mean, it's a ton of fun shooting and but my editing now is becoming problematic because I'm not editing one video of me just sitting talking and then cutting out the ums. Now I'm trying to create more cinematic style storytelling. So I've got 6, 7 different ways of shooting the same thing that I then need to take all of those videos, clip them into individual pieces, put all those pieces together to create the puzzle that tells the story. Yeah. And I'm getting bogged down. My little computer is not able to handle as many videos as I'm doing, and I'm not doing a lot. I'm still making 8-minute video total.
Okay.
But I've got like 6 8-minute videos or 5-minute videos that I then piece together to make the 1 8-minute video.
Sure.
And it's bogging.
I mean, so like to kind of speak to like the change, because we actually haven't really talked about Being Bernard in at least a couple weeks because we've recorded some interviews.
Right.
And so we've had our conversations off camera, off podcast, right?
Sure.
But one of the things you changed is you went from having AI be your patient, right? You know, the fictitious patient to now you starting a couple episodes, you're playing both roles. And I mean, I already posted on this on like Facebook and stuff and like encouraged my friends and family to like watch it because oh my gosh, like that change is so I don't know, it made all the difference, and I thought the AI stuff was pretty good, but you playing both characters just
Ah,
cracks me up because it's like it's your humor on both sides of it, and it's not some kind of weird dead in the eyes AI looking at the count, it's
right.
you in an even more ridiculous way, which I think adds to this whole idea of like this is Bernard's meltdown. Like
Yeah.
it's a really good change, and your production value has increased. Like the edits that you're doing, where it's like you're talking as the patient, and then you cut to you as Bernard, and some head nodding, but it's still you're hearing the patient, and you're doing really, really more cinematic things. You're doing really good job of storytelling instead of just like this is the character that's
Instead of
talking and
just the
having to show them.
narration of the story, instead of
Yeah,
just telling it, I'm doing trying to do better on showing it, like living
yeah,
through the story.
which takes more power and more layers in editing, right? So I'm
Yeah,
assuming. So you're saying you're kind of discouraged from the editing process. I'm because
yeah,
I know you're editing on a Mac Mini, an
yeah,
M1 Mac Mini,
right.
which is still really powerful compared to the previous
Oh,
Mac Minis. But I'm assuming you're
dude,
kind of
it's way
bogging it
more
down.
powerful than I started on that little Surface Pro laptop,
Oh
and
Lord,
that thing, God, I just crashed that thing over and over and over, even trying to
yes,
just do the minimum, and then, I built that computer, that
yep,
PC, and that did me okay for a little while. And then I got this one, and so each time it's gotten at least twice as good as before, but
okay,
I'm about ready for twice as good again. The trouble is it takes money. And
right, right.
so because I'm not making anything,
It's hard to justify
I'm not
spending
yeah,
1,500, $3,000 on a computer. So I
yeah,
have a tip if you're interested.
yes. A
Okay.
bridge. Just
Well,
something to bridge me
I'm gonna
until I
need you to
can do it?
subscribe and enter your email. Just sorry. So no, like, have you heard of proxy footage? Does that sound familiar at all?
No,
Okay. So
nothing.
just like, you can have someone like if you can't make it to some kind of thing, you can have a
Yeah, 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 I
proxy.
know what proxy is.
Okay.
So
Well, for the
yeah.
people that don't,
Oh,
so proxy footage is, let's say
stand in.
you were editing, you shot all this in 4K and you wanted to export a 4K, you know, you wanted to export 4K videos, but you're like, my Mac Mini is not gonna edit all these layers of 4K. What you can do is you can actually set it in your ingest settings to do this, but you can also replace footage later on if you already have a project. And you can actually have it create a proxy for every clip, every piece of footage that you're bringing in. So, for a good example, let's say you had 4K footage, and it's all shot on all like whether it's your iPhone or your DJI
Right?
Go something S3, whatever it is.
Yes.
All of those things use a lot of compression. So
Mhm.
here's the way like it works. You can have small files that are very compressed, or you can have big files that are not compressed. So we all want small files so we can fit more files in our computer, right? The
Right.
problem is the smaller the file, the more compression there is, and the more compression there is, the more processing power it takes to uncompress and play those. So
Oh,
essentially, what you're going to do by creating proxy footage, there's two ways you can do it. You can either go with proxy footage that's really small if you have a really powerful machine. It's really small footage, so you don't have to have all these huge files. If you need to take them on a go or whatever, or like in your case, what you would do is actually create larger files that are lower resolution and have no compression or less compression,
okay.
and you'll be able to edit those much easier. So actually, in your situation, you would take those MP4 files probably
Yep.
and use a proxy that's ProRes, Apple ProRes. So it's not going to have the compression. They're going to be bigger files, but you're editing short videos. So it's not going to be a 2 hour long video you're creating. So
Right.
it's 5 to 10 minute video.
Right.
Just do ProRes proxies, and then when you bring them into your timeline, like when you like kind of scrub the
Mhm.
the cursor or the playhead with your mouse, and it's like just choppy, that's
Yes.
going to go away. it's going to be smooth as butter. And that's when you're scrubbing, which is like really, really hard, right? So just playing back the footage, it's going to be a lot faster. It will take up more hard drive space temporarily, but once you have your edit dialed in, it actually knows when you export it to replace that proxy footage with the original footage. I'm sorry, I don't think I breathed in that entire thing. So
Yeah.
feel free to ask questions because I don't even know what I've said at this point. I blacked out about 2.5 minutes ago and I've been
Okay.
on full stream of consciousness. Did that make
Okay.
any sense?
Yes-ish.
Yeah,
So,
that sounds about right.
yeah, okay, so I like the idea of it. It sounds better. I get extraordinarily frustrated doing and then I'm like, "Oh," which is what was crashing my computer before. I think
Yep,
I told you last time I was doing it and it wouldn't even export, because I keep doing it and then I'm like, oh man, I can't even tell you what the name of the thing is where you turn it from red to green.
oh,
So
you
it
render.
like
Yeah,
render it.
you
I
render.
kept rendering everything to get it to work and play smooth so I could see it because the choppiness would drive me
Yeah,
insane. And pretty soon I rendered so many things and made so many rendered copies and rendered files of rendered everything that it
filled up
just,
your hard drive.
yeah, filled it up. And I had to go in and wipe it and start over.
Yeah. Well, and what's happening in
Um,
those pre-rendering, it's rendering those in a either really, really low compression or uncompressed. That's why it can play it back better.
Oh, I see. Okay,
So,
so my question would be this. What I do is I have everything in my download file on my computer. And then I
okay.
create a folder. I move everything into that for per episode. So all the videos, all the everything, the scripts, the all the stuff that I'm doing, the prop lists, everything. Then I drag all the videos themselves into Premiere. I edit the video. I export the video back to that same folder. Once it's completely done and I've uploaded it to YouTube or wherever else I'm going to do it, then I end up taking that folder and I drag it off my computer and I'm putting it onto an external hard drive. I'm about filled up all my external hard drives too.
Okay.
So there's that. But if I'm doing the proxy videos, would I leave the video, the 4K videos in that downloaded folder, and then make the proxy videos also in that? Drag the
Um,
proxies in, or is it
you'll
what's the process there?
yeah, so when you create a new project,
Mhm.
there's like 3 tabs. And I think the 3rd tab over, the one on the right, is like ingest settings. I think. So you can set where you want those things to be stored. So you can also set a scratch disk. Your scratch disk is where it's going to put those preview files. So let's say that you did have, you want your scratch disk to be your like fastest disk. So that's going to be probably your hard drive, unless you had an SSD. You could set that to be your scratch disk. Less important now, less important with the footage you're editing than if you were editing 8 or 12K or something, right? But
Okay.
um, you can set where you want those proxy files to be stored. I actually saw a really good tutorial on this the other day, and it was like you have your large files folder. It was like talking about doing this in the cloud across different computers. So let's say you and I were editing a project together. You could set it, and you were the original, right? So you could have your big files folder, and that just stays on your external hard drive or on your computer. You would have your small files folder, and that's where like the actual project file would be. Um, and any assets that needed to be shared with me, that could be a cloud folder, like a Google Drive or a Dropbox.
Mhm.
Um, and then your render files, your scratch disk stuff, would be your computer that does not sync, right? Because I don't need you. Actually do not want to have to sync files with your scratch disk because those are the biggest files, right? Those are the ones that are completely uncompressed.
Right.
But what you could do in your ingest settings, you could set it up where here are the big files. It's stored on even an external hard drive because it's not going to matter. You're not going to be playing them from the external hard drive, right?
Right.
Create a proxy into this small file folder that contains this is the file that we sync with the cloud, right? It
Okay.
contains the actual Premiere project file and then any other assets like music or B-roll or graphics that are going to be in this video that you need to share with me.
Okay.
Um, and then set your scratch disk to be somewhere on a computer, that's not syncing with the cloud. And set your settings instead of being proxy footage. Like in this case, we're on your computer, you need to be ProRes, like uncompressed files so that it plays more smoothly on your computer. You would actually go the opposite direction and compress the crap out of those files so that they synced easier with me. And then I could edit. I could actually make proxies of your proxies on my side. They might be ugly, but I could still get the edit done. And all I have to do is hit save. And all it's really syncing between my computer and your computer on the cloud is the project file, because I'm not really making any new footage. And then whenever you open it on your computer, you're the one that actually has to render it and export it because you have access to those big files, the non-proxy, the original files.
That are
And
the big
it doesn't
4K
matter, like, even if it's an
files.
external drive, it's fine. It can take longer to export, if it's on an external hard drive versus internal, but you don't care because you're going to set it up in media encoder and hit play and you're going to
Leave
walk
and go
away.
overnight. Yeah.
Exactly.
Have it.
So that's kind of the workflow, and that's little tip behind the scenes. That's what we're doing, not you and I, but that's what Christian and I are doing with the social clips and stuff for minding your business. So he's editing from a MacBook Air that's a few years old. That's his, low power computer, basically. And so that's kind of what we're doing to get around. Like he doesn't have to have a high power computer with a ultra chip and all that stuff and 32 gigs of RAM or whatever. So,
Right.
yeah. So going back to like when you do this next edit, not the one you're currently on, don't break it. Like don't like just finish the one you're on unless you just can't finish it. Right. When you go and do your next episode, is it a new project or do you edit all of them inside of one project?
They're all in one project.
Okay.
All
That's
9
fine.
episodes, but because I've got my intro and my outro with the music and the stuff all preset in a template, is if there's a way to move and take that template and put it into a new project, then I'd much rather do that. Because right now the project's that folder is getting big, and sometimes trying to drag that template into the next new is a pain in the rear.
So yeah, save the copy that you have, make sure it's saved, then go through and you can actually just save a new project. Gosh, it's like Project Manager, I believe, is the option. I would go through Project Manager and make a copy of your project, because I don't think it's really just as simple as like save as and saving it as a different name, because there's some files and that kind of stuff that could get messy. I would go to Project Manager and say, save a copy or move footage, and then choose those template things. Choose the sequences or the files that you always use, but not any of the previous episodes. And then you can tell it to trim footage or not, and it'll take everything and it'll copy it to a new location. And then you can open that, close the one you're working on, then open the new one, and you'll have a clean version. Then you can open it up and go into the project settings and go to ingest and tell it the proxy stuff.
Okay.
You'd be fine if you didn't do it that way, if you just did it in the existing one, but this would be cleaner. And then you also know that like if you really mess something up and you didn't know what you did, you could go back to the previous file. You always have a way to bail out. So I think that's the safest way to do it. So I know that was probably a lot. And I know of the, 5 people that listened to us, 3 were interested. But anyway, I just think it's one of those things that if you can, in your situation, right, rather than spending money,
I'm not quite ready to spend money yet, but I want to keep going.
To be able to justify that, right?
Yeah. And
so,
and so I'm hoping, with a little bit of Christmas and my birthday are coming up, you know what I mean? And I've been working on my brother-in-law telling him, now, do you tell my wife? So we'll see.
I always do. I play those games with
I'm just thinking
myself
too. If everyone pitched in and then I pitched in half.
I do the same thing. And then I'll like save up the money. Like I'll save up the Christmas money and birthday money. My birthday and Christmas are only like 6 weeks apart, 7 weeks apart. So it's like, well, yeah, you're right there with me. Right. Yeah. So
mine's 2 weeks. Mine's the 16th.
So like, it's just, I play those games and then it'll be after Christmas and I'll be like, Yeah, but that's a write-off, and I don't wanna spend my my birthday money on my Christmas money on a write-off, you know? So,
Right.
yeah. Anyway, so speaking of, like, business stuff, right? Like, we are minding your business.
Huh?
I kinda, like, I don't know, situation I need to talk through. It's on my I gotta get it
Radar.
off my chest, right?
Yeah.
I can't take it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I'm sure, like, everyone's familiar with, like, businesses that fail, right?
Mhm.
Like, that sucks. It really, really sucks, but look, I forget the statistic, but I think it's 80% of businesses never make it past 2 years.
Okay.
That's just like, it sucks, and I don't like it, right? And so we've talked about, like, we're writing this book, that's about the questions you should ask yourself before you start a business.
Right.
Um,
To make it more
and
likely you make it through the 2 years.
right, it's not to discourage anyone, it's, like, to prepare people, right? So,
Yes.
get your ducks in a row. But I was actually I this is on my radar because there's a great little restaurant that's about 45 minutes away from where we live, and I'm not kidding you, they have the best Mexican food anywhere around here. It's not even close, and it's
Okay.
so incredibly good, and they're shutting down. Not because they weren't successful,
Okay.
because they could I don't wanna say they're too successful. The lady that started it, she's in her 70s, and she's working 70 plus hours a week, and she
Doesn't wanna
thought
do it
that
anymore.
someone would step up, and she'd be able to
Right.
find someone to train, someone would, like, replace her, and it just hasn't happened. And it's not that they're not making money, it's not that they're not busy, it's not that there aren't, serving customers, it's just she doesn't wanna keep up the grind.
Yeah.
And so it makes me go like, "Oh my gosh," it makes me really, really sad. One, because I love the food, I love the Mexican food, and it's like now we go back to, like, the whole Midwest cheese sauce covering everything Mexican food, which is not
Right.
Mexican food. Um, but it just sits there, it makes me just I guess it reinvigorates me for writing this book, which, we have been working on for probably about 4 or 5 months in the back burner, right? Like, here and there. But it just makes me go, you know what? No, we have to finish this thing and we have to put a deadline on this thing because I don't want to see anyone fail, but I
Right.
really don't want to see people fail that are that are successful, but they're just being overwhelmed by not having the right systems in place or not having the right assets to help them along. And it is a grind. It absolutely can be a grind, especially in those first few years, right?
Right.
But this again goes back to preparing people.
Yeah.
So,
I just hearing you describe her and the restaurant, oh god, I get it, and she's gotta have her hands in it to make it what it is.
yeah,
Sadly, it sounds like she doesn't have a business. She
right.
has a job.
Yeah, yeah,
She's self-employed and she has a job
yep,
because she can't replace herself
right,
easily. She can't step away. Even if she were to sell it, the new people would go, "Oh, well, we got a book of recipes." Maybe it's
right,
all in her head too. Like,
right.
I don't know that she prepared properly in the beginning for the moment when she would step away.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what? It's straight out of the E-Myth books. Are you familiar with the E-Myth books by Michael Gerber?
Uh,
I mean, I remember when I read, the first E-Myth book that I read, and it was just like, "You're not actually an entrepreneur. You're just a technician."
uh-huh.
And it's like, "Oh my gosh, you're absolutely right. I'm
Right.
the bottleneck for everything. This
Yeah.
thing can't run without me."
Right.
Then it's not really a business. It's a
Right.
job.
Right. If you can't step away and the business continue to operate, then you didn't create a business. You
Yeah.
created a job.
Which is
Which
actually
is not
one of the
bad. I
reasons.
mean, there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are self-employed and they do very well.
Yeah, and if that's what you want and that's all you want out of it, there's nothing wrong with that. But
Correct.
actually, that's one of the reasons that I started getting into automation is because I was like, well, if I can make this automated where it can run without me and it happens based on this trigger or whatever, like that's where all that
Right.
stuff kind of came from, was
Right.
streamlining things, trying to buy back my time.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so all that to say, after we get done here, I need to go through some stuff with you. Um, we are up to, I think I streamlined it down to 133 questions.
Oh, you cut it down.
We cut it
Okay.
down. Yeah, yeah. I was up to 148. But this is also like I've only got a handful of questions from you at this point, And so
Uh-huh.
like we're gonna have to trim out. It's also gotten a little heady. It's a
Okay.
little too much. I think it's gotten too much onto the side of like um
Uh,
how to.
okay. I was gonna say, honestly, I feel like my contribution isn't going to be coming up with more questions.
It's
It's
gonna be
going to be
streamlining things.
helping organize the questions so they make
Yeah,
sense. Because let's be honest, there's 138 questions, and probably no one needs to answer all 138.
it's true.
I'm gonna just say there's gonna
Well,
be
some of them are
questions
easy
where
to
it's
answer.
like, "Are you this or are you that?" And then those branch off, and then there's 2 more questions, but it's like, if you're heading in this direction, if you're heading in the direction of being a solopreneur or a business, let's say self-employed, then
Yeah,
you don't have to go down the route like, "How do you replace yourself?" You don't.
right, right,
That's not the point. And so all
right.
those questions to set yourself up for that don't necessarily need to be there. So I think it's going to be kind of putting those questions into buckets, or
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know
right
what
now
you
it's like
would
there are like three stage gates
do.
where
Okay.
basically, okay, you've reached this point. If you can't answer this next question, pause and go back
And
and answer these,
do do
kind of
what you
thing.
need to do to get the answer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you don't have, so like one of the things was like a runway. What's your runway? How much runway do you need for 6 months of operating costs? Right? Like helping calculate that. And then do you have that? If you don't, reduce your overhead or go do some funding. So, like, again, those are very practical things. And I think that's important. It's obviously very important, right? But at
Yeah.
the same time, this is really intended more to be a
Have you asked yourself this
mindset
question?
book,
Mhm.
right? Like it's less on the practical, though I think there is a marriage, right? So there's a marriage of
Sure.
the two. But yeah, I think I'm excited to show you the stage gates because that's what
Okay.
you haven't. And so
Mhm.
anyway, we're talking about it too much.
Cool.
But it's exciting, and so that's again one of the reasons I feel like, man, we gotta finish this up. And I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say this: I think we gotta finish it before the end of the year. So I just got a little nauseous saying that, but
Yeah.
deadlines are
Oh,
lifelines.
I tell you, I agree. We have to. And we do still have a couple of months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's gonna disappear very quickly.
Very. Had this talk with my son last night. I was like, "Can you believe it's almost Christmas again?" And he's like, "Yes, for several weeks," because he works at Target. He's like, "We've already
Okay.
put the decorations out." Like,
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I get Halloween isn't even here yet, but in my brain, I'm already thinking I got to start planning in Christmas, getting the gifts, like taking care
Yeah.
of that because I like to do those things early." But um it's already here again, like first of the year. We're already at that place again.
Yeah.
And it is very, very heavy
Yeah.
to think, darn, all the things that 2024 were supposed to be, it's not going to be. Not that I haven't
2025.
made progress, not that we haven't moved towards closer to that, but it
Yeah.
was like this was supposed to be the year of ABCD, and I got like A.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
so,
understand.
but yeah, I think let's make the commitment. Let's do it. I would have loved to have had the book out by Black Friday.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
not going to happen.
Nah.
So instead, we just say, well, let's start it. We'll have it ready for people that are considering 2025 is their year for starting their business or for
2026.
planning their business, or 2026 for
Yeah.
doing what they're going to be doing.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, we're already this deep into
Right.
2025.
Yeah. It's crazy, right? Um,
Wow.
yeah, so, one of the things kind of looking again back at that, like, this actually it ties into your editing stuff too, is like, you know, we talked about this, I don't know, 20 episodes ago, maybe 25. We
Okay.
talked about being, like, resilient,
Okay.
like, so I want uh, the therapist or the psychological, perspective on this. Like, What
Okay.
are some things that a person, but let's say a business owner, someone that's in the middle of
Okay.
that grind, like,
Okay.
can do? What are some techniques or tips or ways to think about things to like stay the course? Because it can be a grind, and sometimes it's discouraging,
It
like,
is.
what say you, sir?
It definitely is. So here's what I would say. I would say that recently, and by recently in the last couple of years, there's been a big, big, giant push towards motivation, as if motivation
Mm.
is the key. Oh, it's
Yeah,
what's your
right.
motivator? Are you motivated? Are you? And I can tell you my take and my
Yeah,
very, very biased opinion. And that is because motivation is an easy target to sell to.
yeah.
Okay, so when somebody's sitting there and they're like, "Man, I don't have the motivation to do it." Of course you don't, because you're not doing it.
Right.
So if you wait for the motivation, you're never going to get it.
Yeah.
But if your belief is that the motivation comes first, that it's the precursor to you doing an action, then you'll be willing to buy the motivation.
Okay. Yeah.
So here's the trouble, it isn't motivation. Stop
Right.
waiting for motivation. Don't think of it as motivation. Instead, change your mindset to understand that resilience, the idea that you need to do something, that you've got to get up and get going, is determination, and that's
Mhm.
fully chosen and determined by you. It's a choice.
Yeah.
Determination isn't something you wait for, isn't something that comes upon you. That's motivation, and motivation happens after you've started, not before. Determination is the choice to do it in spite of no motivation.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so when you use determination, the determination is the fuel that will light the motivation fire after. So, yes, it feels like a waste. You're dumping gas or lighter fluid all over the wood, and you're going, it's not even on fire. Why am I wasting all of this fluid?
Right.
Because when you do light the fire, it's going to burn brighter and hotter.
Yeah. So motivation's like the little spark, but
Motivation is the spark that happens
yeah.
after you've already started.
Yeah.
You can't build a fire and be motivated to stand up and warm yourself when there's no fire. Go get the wood and put it in the thing and then spend the time to light the newspaper and do the stuff. All of
Yeah.
that's the determination to light the fire. Once it's lit, then now you're motivated to keep it going. Sure, it's easy to continue to put logs on a lit fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard to light the fire in the beginning. So when people are like, "Oh, you just got to be strong, you just have to," no, you don't. You just do it anyway. The
Do it
key is
anyway.
you just do it anyway. So just find the determinant. Do you want the thing bad enough? Because here's how, if now this kind of circle back to the idea of motivation, is
Okay.
stop looking for external motivation and get your internal motivation fire going. And the way you do that is you say, what do I want more? Because that's what
Mm,
motivation truly is you will always do what you want to do more. So if
yeah.
you're like, I'm tired and I don't want to work out. Okay, do you want to stay in bed more than get up and go be in the cold and work out in the garage outside when it's freezing or in the gym or whatever? Yes, of course you do. So stop thinking of it staying in bed and staying in the warm blankets or working out, because which one do you want to do more? I want to stay in the bed.
Of course.
Instead, you say, do I want that healthier body? Do I want to live longer? Do I want to be here for my kids? Do I want to be more active? Do I want to get winded when I'm trying to chase my kid at the park or when I'm running and carrying the stuff over to his soccer practice? Is that what I want? Or do I want to be in my best possible physical shape? So
Yeah.
now it's, do I want to be in my best physical shape or do I want to get up and go to the gym? Well, I want to be in my best physical shape. It requires me to go to the gym,
Right.
requires me to exercise.
Yep.
So now it's just a step along the way. So it's about figuring out what it is you want more, and then you go
Mhm.
after that. So now, do you want it that more, or do you want to stay in bed more? Oh, I want to be better. I want to be in
Yeah.
my healthier self more. So then it requires going to the workout.
That's so good, dude. That's so good. I mean,
So
I
shift your mindset. That's it.
yeah. I don't know about you, but like in those situations, I mean, I will verbalize that I don't wanna do something.
Oh
I'll
my
be like,
God.
"I
Okay.
don't want to work out,"
I wasn't
and I
even
just say,
gonna
"Do it anyway."
I wasn't even gonna touch on that. But if you really, really want to rewire your brain to make yourself a resilience monster,
Yeah.
to change your mindset to where you're like, you'll start to believe you can accomplish anything you put your mind to. And the way you do that is you go, I really want to be super, super healthy. And I don't want to go work out. Even if you do, you tell yourself, I don't want to do it. And then you go do it anyway.
Yeah.
Because when your brain does things it doesn't want to do, it makes you stronger.
Yeah.
It makes
Yeah.
it runs neural pathways in your brain that says, I don't have to want to do something to get it done. I can do
Right.
whatever I want. I can do whatever I don't want.
Yeah.
I can accomplish whatever is before me that needs to be accomplished. Well, the way you do that is you insist that you don't want to do it. I swear I play that game with myself all the time. I really do enjoy talking to clients. I enjoy sitting in the room. I like being in the chair. I like it.
Yeah.
But I tell myself I don't want to go to work today. And my wife's like, "Why are you being so negative?" And I go, "Fuck. I'm not being negative. What I'm doing is I'm priming my brain to believe it doesn't want to go to work because I'm going, baby. Like I'm going
Yeah.
to go and I'm going to enjoy it. And the reason is I want to tell myself initially that I'm not going to like it. And then I'm going to go and I'm going to like it. And then I'm going to
Yeah.
enjoy it. And I'm going to do it anyway. And my brain goes, dang, sometimes you're wrong when you think you can't do something. And sometimes you're wrong when you think you're not going to like something, but you have the determination to do it anyway. You have the grit to do it anyway. So that's the me I want to believe that I am
Yeah.
because I want to grow. I want to be more than I am today. I can't have more than I have today unless I am more tomorrow than I am today.
And two, like, think of like that turns something into a win. Whether it's big or small,
Right.
winning feels pretty good, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I that little shift. I mean, I can tell you for me, it actually I didn't have the words to frame it, right? But
But you're doing it.
I've been doing that for well over a year where it's like, God, I really don't want to get up. Like I get up at most days I'm up by 5. Do you think
Okay.
I want to get up at 5 in the morning or 4:45, 4:30 sometimes? I don't want to. It
No.
sucks. I'm a night owl. And then I find
Mhm.
myself falling asleep at 9 o'clock, because
Yeah,
I've
because
gotten
you're
up so
getting up at
early.
5. Sure.
Like, but if I just went by like my own pattern, I would go to sleep at 5 in the morning,
Okay.
so like, but I can tell you those little things, it's not easy to get up at 5, but if I do, I'm starting my day off winning, doing
Right.
something I don't want to do.
Right.
And then it's like working out first. I'm doing something I really don't want to do. I like how I feel after I work out. I hate the way I feel when I'm working out. But
Yeah.
when I'm done working out, I feel like I did something hard. And then it makes
Yes.
everything else later in the day that much easier. Like, do I want to
Yeah.
get on that call with the client? No, not really. Like, I love my clients, but sometimes I'm really antisocial and I don't want to be like, but I've already
Right.
done the harder things. So,
Right.
like, I can just feel myself being sucked into doing cold plunges. I hate this idea already. But, the idea of
Uh,
just, you're going to suck it up and you're going to do it.
right.
Oh, terrible. I'm not going to, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Right.
I'm going to do it.
Dude, I'll tell you what, I started doing the cheater version where you take a shower and
Yeah.
then you crank it to cold, and then you dip your head under it and just let it cover your body. Ooh, you're shaking and you're convulsing, and then you're like, huh, it's not so bad. It's hysterical. I was doing it,
Yeah.
did it for several months, and then I've kind of gotten out of the habit of it. And my son decided to take a shower in our shower the other day. He's 8. And so I hear him in there singing and carrying on. And then I hear him, "Whoo, whoo, 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 whoo." And I was like, wonder what's happening. So he shuts it off, gets out, dries off, comes out of the shower, whatever. And then now I'm going to go in, I'm going to take a shower. So I go in and I look, and the knob is all the way cold. So I go back and I ask him, I said, did you crank that to all the way cold? Yes. Because when I do that, then I get freezing inside the shower, and then I don't have to worry about getting cold when I get out.
That's a good point.
And I was like, for whatever reason you're doing it, keep it up.
Yeah.
Whatever the
Yeah.
reason is, just keep doing it because that's fantastic. Like
Oh
he
my
doesn't want
gosh.
to get cold when he gets out of the shower. So if he gets freezing cold with the water, when he gets out, it feels nice and warm. And then he has the energy to finish getting dressed and keep going. And I'm like, whatever it is, it's working for you. So
Yeah, makes
keep
sense.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
So
hilarious.
anyway,
Oh,
yeah.
man. Well, I mean, it kind of takes us all the way back to like, where we started, So
Yeah.
I know it's not the easiest thing in the world, but I would encourage you, dude. Your Being Bernard series is just getting better and better and better. So don't
Yeah.
be like the little restaurant and
And
don't
just
give up.
give up and do it.
Yeah,
No, I tell you, it is funny because I kind of stopped on the other channels and I just checked them today and I'm like, man, they're still growing. Even after I stopped putting in the effort, like they're
yeah,
still growing and they're growing at a pace that's actually faster than when I was doing it, which
right.
means I'd watched a couple of blogs and vlogs and some people talking, and they're like, so many creators or business owners, whatever, stop right
Right before.
before the success. So here I was putting the logs, stuffing the newspaper, putting the juice, putting like the lighter fluid, getting everything ready. And then I was like, well, this is too much work. Never mind. And then I walked away and I come back and a spark had hit it and it's burning.
Yeah,
It's not blazing because nobody's throwing more logs on it. Nobody's feeding that fire,
right.
but both fires are now smoldering. They're burning. And I'm
Yeah,
like, man. So the key is going to be continuing going forward, being resilient, being determined to continue going until the audience finds me. And
yeah,
the best way to do that realistically, to speed up that process, is to do more. If there's more content, then there's more tests the algorithm can do to get it in front of the right people. And then
yeah.
eventually they'll find me and then it'll go. And I mean, the hardest part is there's so much work to do that I'm like, it's a full-time job and I can't afford it to be a full-time
Right.
thing right now, but it'll never happen if I don't keep going. So, yeah, I
Well,
just got to
here's
stay determined anyway to just make it happen.
this is my perspective, and it's if you're trying to get from point A to point B, you can do it by running, you can do it by jogging, or you can do it by walking. So either way, it's the same distance. It's just a matter of how much effort it takes to get there, right? Or technically it's the same amount of effort, but it's spread over time, right? So if you're trying to get there quickly, it's going to take
Take
more intense effort.
Right.
So um, let's say you're going to cover a mile. If you run a mile, you jog a mile, or walk a mile, you're actually burning the same amount of calories, but in a different time span. So
Mhm.
you can speed it up and run, it's going to hurt more,
Yeah.
right? Versus if you keep it at a pace that you can go at for a long period of time, you can actually cover more ground. So I think
Right.
that's what's, like going into it, not like, man, I got to get there in 6 months. Man, just
Yeah.
this is going to sound like I'm a hippie, and that's fine, but go at a pace that you can keep up.
No,
You know,
it 100%, because here's I get where you're going, and I've kind of shifted my focus with this channel more to that. And
yes,
that is,
I can
I
tell.
could possibly run and make it the mile. And then I'm gonna fall down and be burnt out for however long, just like I did on my other channels. Because that's what I did is I ran.
Right.
And then I was like, yeah, I'm done. I'm too tired. I don't want to do it anymore. And this one, I'm just slow and I'll like start to jog and I'm like, calm yourself down. It's getting exciting. But then I'm like, calm down, just keep walking. Because
Yeah.
I could probably walk 5 miles. But
Right.
there's no way I'm jogging more than a mile. And there's absolutely no way I'm running even a mile.
And think about the quality of the journey. So if you're
How
walking and you're
how much
doing it,
more am I going to learn and see and
you're going to
discover
learn
along
and
the way?
see and enjoy the process versus I just got to get there.
Right.
Eh, yeah. So again, maybe that's a little hippie. I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's all good. Or do your
Yeah.
thing.
It's
If you
fun.
can, if you can run, then run. If that's a pace you can keep up, man, I'm not saying don't run. I'm just saying find a pace that you can keep up. And I think a lot of times this kind of goes back to the motivation thing. If you have that spark that's always
Mhm.
firing, you've got the
Right.
motivation that just like, man, you are passionate about this thing and it doesn't matter how much it hurts, you just want it.
Right.
Then cool. But if you
Yeah.
don't have that spark that's always firing,
Yeah.
then find a pace that you can where you're not overdoing it and stumbling and falling and then you're just hurting yourself, you
Right.
know. Anyway.
Yeah, one thing I've shifted in my I think, and I'm still trying hard to shift. Let me put it that way. I'm working on shifting it. Is less less focus on subscribers
Mm.
and more focus on what I'm producing,
Yeah.
what I'm making. Because when I'm just focused on the videos, not when I can get them out, how fast, how much, the
Right.
effort it takes, the frustration, the everything. But when I'm focused on being done, because like I'm making these, it is interesting, and I'm glad that you said it, but because the AI videos were just frustrating, and by the time I got done, I couldn't tell if they were funny or not anymore. And I
Right.
remember saying that and showing you, and you're like, "No, it was still funny." When I'm editing the videos of myself doing all of the characters, I'm laughing the entire time I'm doing it, and I'm like, "Oh, that is okay. That was funny." I wish I would have. Okay, I'm gonna go reshoot it, and I will shoot it slightly different to get it. I don't do that every
Okay.
time. There are multiple times I could honestly re-edit, 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 re-edit forever.
Yeah.
So instead, I just have to say, I'm done now. I
Yeah.
would have done it different. I will do it different next time. Because if I
Right.
can make each video 1% better,
Yep.
then after 100 videos, I'll be 100% better.
Yeah. Well,
Okay,
actually,
that's fine.
it'll be more than that because it compounds, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
true enough. So yeah, and let's say in a year, I'm hoping to get about 40 videos done. I would love to get 52. It's not going to happen every week because every time I think, oh, I've got the system down to I can knock it out in about
Yeah.
5 hours now. Then I go, yeah, I don't want to do the same thing I did this time. So for this week, I've got a virtual client, which I
Yeah.
thought was going to be easier, and as it turns out, is by far well over twice as hard as
Of
doing a
course.
client that's sitting across the sofa, because it's
Yeah.
not a matter of just turning the camera. Now it's how do I sell the idea that they're not there with me, that they are.
Right.
That was
Right.
the hard part, selling the idea that I was there with myself and that we were carrying on a conversation. And now
Right.
it's like, how do I now sell the idea that they're not there, but we're
Right.
still carrying on a conversation? We're in two different places and talking. And then how do I set that stage? How do I tell that story? How did the one person get to where he is, and how did the other? So
Right.
there's a lot more to it, but I'm enjoying that stretch.
Sure.
So yes, I think to myself, oh, I should be able to get it done. Nope, it's going to take me twice as long to do this one. I'm back up to probably 6, 7, 8 hours of work to get it out. That's sad. I get it. So people that know how to edit and do all this stuff, they're doing it in 2, 3 hours.
I
But
would encourage you. I can tell you my from the hip, if I'm bidding out a project, if it's, you know, supposed to be a 5, minute project or something, a finished project, I'm gonna say it's gonna take me about 5 hours to edit that, not even shooting. So my rule of thumb is an hour of editing for every minute of final product, unless you're talking about just trimming something, but that's different. So you're doing pretty
okay.
good. You're doing
Okay. Well, then
don't be discouraged.
and I'm not gonna get, yeah, I'm not gonna start beating myself up because I'm like, people should probably, I bet there's people that do this in 2 hours. Well, sure, the ones that do it on,
All the time,
as
and
their
that's all they
job.
do. Yeah.
But I'm like, yeah, I'm at about that. But luckily I'm at about that for the whole thing. So it's
Right.
shooting and editing and lighting and audio and all of it. And I get my audio's not the best. I'm pretty good. I got some decent mics, but then getting all the microphone sounds to equal out is difficult for me because I don't know how to do it. So I'm having to watch videos to learn how to do it, then come in and then do my best on it. And it's like, oh, with this plugin, I'm like, I don't have that plugin. So what do I how do I do it by hand? And then I do it by hand. Um, so yeah, but at
All
least
I know,
here's the thing: if the videos are okay or goodish, then imagine in a year from now how good they'll be.
but that's it. That's it. And I'm seeing with every video you release, it's not 1% better. It's getting substantially better, you know? So again, man, I think
Yeah.
you're killing it. And we die laughing harder each time. They just keep getting better and better and better.
What's a
And
lot
it's
of
really funny
pressure.
because I really thought, like, going back to the coach one, with the client that was trying to out
Coach.
therapist you.
Uh-huh.
Like, I thought that one was hilarious. And then, like, it just doesn't stack up as strong against, like,
Right.
what was the last one? My wife's trying to ghost me or something like
Uh-huh.
that. Oh
Yeah.
my
His
gosh.
wife's ghosting him. Yeah. From
Anyway,
6 feet
so
away. She's still there,
right, right.
but he's taking all of her. passive aggressiveness as ghosting. Yeah.
Yes.
Funny.
Yes.
So,
Oh, man. So, yeah, you're killing it. Just keep up the effort, man. Like,
okay. Yeah, I'll
don't
keep going.
do not bail on this one
No, this one
because
is already too much fun because I'm
yeah,
getting to make the types of videos I've always wanted to make. Granted, I would like to be able to do more than just the therapy skits, but in the meantime, let's do therapy skits for a year. Let's let
yeah,
people know I'm doing skits. It's solo skits. It's me doing all of the stuff. I'm not overacting, um, which is funny because everyone but my family can see me as the character immediately.
okay.
But all my closest family, they're like, "I couldn't tell when you're switching characters," and I'm
Oh
like,
my gosh,
"I'm
that's
wearing
funny.
different shirts in a different scene, like,
Right.
and I'm talking s okay,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's fine." And they're like, "Maybe you could wear, like, a fake mustache," and I'm like, "That isn't the point. I'm a
Right.
fill-in character. I'm a stand-in for that other character. Your brain can put it together. Just give it time." Like, so anyway, they can't, I guess, because we're too close. But I think
Yeah.
other people who are not that familiar, like you're not a family. You know me well enough to know, but you can look at the video and see, like, oh, he's clearly someone else there.
Right. Right. And
Yeah.
I've not had a point where it was confusing to me.
I didn't
Um,
think so either. But
in fact,
again,
I would say that it took me a while actually to notice that you were wearing different shirts. And then I was like, "Oh, nice touch."
oh, okay.
I
But
was
you could
actually at
still
the
tell
point
it was a different.
well, I knew it was different characters. I absolutely knew it was different characters, and then I was like I realized, "Oh, he's wearing a different shirt. Oh, good touch.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, alright, yeah."
Yeah. So
So,
I'm doing that at least now. So I have 3 outfits. So there's a 3 outfit change. So there's you know,
let's make it
there's
more complex. Yeah, but see,
yeah.
that's the issue is you're gonna get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better, and then you're gonna make it more complex, so it'll actually end up taking longer, and then you get a little better, a little better, a little better, and so it's like it's an ever changing,
Uh-huh.
uh, like flow. But again, you're making leaps and bounds difference. So anyway,
Yeah.
I think we
Cool.
call it. We're getting close
Yep.
to our time, but
Yep.
man, I'm excited to see the next episode. So I know we say this like every time, but like you have to go and check out Being Bernard on YouTube. Now, is it still Being Bernard, or did you change
Okay.
like the
So
name a little
thanks.
bit?
That's great. It's still being Bernard, but now it's being Bernard sarcastic therapy skits. Is
Okay,
an addition to the strangely, that little addition has helped with SEO because
interesting.
I did kind of a deep dive SEO thing after our last interview. So
Mhm.
make sure everybody listens for when that comes out. But I did that, and then I changed because he was also saying like, no, in a channel, it's very important that you label it what it actually is. So I did make a
Right.
switch from TV entertainment, which I was trying thinking, no, I'm making like a series, like a show. It's comedy series, a comedy show. It's supposed to be funny.
Okay. Yeah.
So I switched it to comedy and I got a bunch of extra views. And it seems now to be finding the audience easier than the other. So now it knows people that aren't
Okay.
just interested in TV, but funny TV. Oh, okay. We know these people like funny. And so my subscriber count has been growing. My views have been growing. My watch time is growing. Like all of the things are going up,
Okay.
and I get it's cyclical, whatever, it'll be fine.
Sure.
But I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna try and start creating some shorts. I know we didn't touch on that. Some intentional shorts, not just clipped ones. um but I'm not going super heavy into that. I'll probably just be trying to tell some jokes and
See
testing
what sticks.
character ideas. So I'll test new characters or new client ideas, and the ones that really seem to get some traction, I'll then turn those into long form videos
Okay.
and make
Yeah.
that. So anyway, that's the goal. So yeah, if you haven't, please do check it out. You don't necessarily have to subscribe. If you're not going to like those type of videos, please don't subscribe. But if you're into that
Yeah, please
kind of
don't.
thing, then grab it. Yeah.
That's
So
that's your well, one of my favorite things we've said this before, but like is the way you get, when you have that call to action to subscribe at the end of every video, it's like there's always a threat right after that, like
uh,
subscribe or I'll send you the cactuses playlist. Like that was one of my favorites too, or I'll
yeah,
sign you
I'm
up
still
for
doing that. Yeah,
yes. I mean,
that's got to
and again,
stick.
it's those recurring types of jokes that I also really enjoy, but
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're killing it. Like, yeah, there's so many things. I can't wait for the next one. I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, it'd probably be next week, but we'll see. Okay.
Well,
In the
we have
meantime, what should
we
we
do
do?
have so we have in probably 2 to 3 weeks we have an interview that we're going to release with an SEO expert. That was really, really good conversation we had last week. But we're trying to like space out our interview episodes to like once a month. As we're getting more and more people, that might change. But we even said at the, beginning of the last couple episodes, like I love the interview episodes. It's just so good because not to say that you and I can't bring value, but it's so great to just like bring someone else in that has a completely different perspective, and they're bringing value to our audience, but also to us.
Yes. I was like,
So
yeah, those are the ones I really get. I get a little bit more out of. Not that we
Well, yeah.
don't share
Yeah.
information, but it is interesting to hear new information from somebody else.
Right. Not just stuck in the echo chamber.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, we're a few weeks away from that. And then I think the way this falls, I think this is actually episode 49.
Okay.
I think. So we are our next episode will be number 50. Crazy to think that we've come that far, and we haven't been kicked off the internet yet, but we'll see. So all good things are happening. There's even more things that we can't talk about. Just think about the things we do talk about. Like that's crazy. There's more exciting things that I have to tell you once we stop recording. So yeah. But anyway, until next week, mind your business. Hey, thanks for listening to the Minding Your Business podcast. Your hosts are Aaron Gerals and me, CJ Jolliffe. If you want to find out more about us or when we're going live or follow us on socials, just go to our website, mybpodcast.com. And again, thank you so much for listening.